October 2nd, 2006, police would enter the home of Elaine Capioni. Inside, they will find her alongside a VHS camera she had used to record a series of tapes. Tapes so disturbing, they found themselves on the dark side of YouTube.
Hi Serena, it's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday Serena, happy birthday to you. Serena's 3 today, yay! What do you think, Sophia? You sing happy birthday? No?
I'm 3.
You're 3 today. Yay! Shall we go to the living room and see if you got any birthday presents from the birthday fairies?
Yes!
Okay, let's go.
I have to go. I got a present.
What is it?
It's a bike.
The first video starts with Elaine singing happy birthday to one of her daughters. She had surprised her with a brand new bike in the living room. The footage seemingly looks normal, just some fun homemade video of the family. However, in the second tape, things get a little bit disturbing.
This is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah. I think Diego Campioni is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins. The same as Leonardo. All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campioni, and then the past year from Anna and Diego Campioni, the mental and emotional abuse, which wouldn't stop, and I had CAS keep bringing these 2 people into my life over and over again when I kept telling them the amount of mental and emotional abuse it was causing my 3-year-old daughter Serena and I and Sophia. It was horrible and uncalled for, and I want justice to my family for what they involved done to us. I cried out for help. They should have charged him for the assaults he did to me, the assaults he did to my oldest daughter Serena, and they did nothing for us.
As she pans the camera around the room, she begins complaining, calling the house a rundown apartment. She points the blame to 2 men who she hopes burns in hell. Keep in mind, she's saying all this with the 2 kids in the room listening. The man she is talking about, Leonardo Capioni, happens to be her ex-husband and the father of these 2 children. Her complaining visibly makes her children worry, and that's when the camera suddenly stops. The next footage recorded was closer to the time the police actually arrived at her home, just hours before she recorded something that stunned everyone.
Recording this because Leo and there, are you happy? Everything is gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. I begged. You even had Stacy not.
Elaine records herself claiming how everything is gone and blames Leo for what just happened. The footage was different, as in this one, the children were nowhere to be seen. However, the kids' whereabouts would be made clear by Elaine herself.
And you get Serena an idea that you could actually have my children. God believes me, and God's taking care of them now. You're protected by God, thank God, and thank Him. Because there's no way I could have them with you. You're a hideous monster.
According to Elaine, the children were dead, and so was she. However, the camera would roll again as Elaine had attempted to commit suicide through an overdose. Surprisingly, after all this, she called the police on herself. In the house, the police would find the 2 children in their mother's bedroom, holding hands wrapped in rosaries, dead. Just 2 nights before, as the kids were taking a bath together, Elaine told them that they would play a game. The game was where they would dip their heads in a bathtub. However, Elaine will drown them both that night. The entire situation is very disturbing, to say the least, as it showed Elaine's downward spiral into madness, but leaving the obvious question, why? Upon investigation, Leonel Cattioni, Elaine's ex-husband, wanted full custody of their kids. This caused Elaine to become extremely paranoid as she thought people were following her and trying to kill her. This somehow convinced her that killing them was the best choice. Elaine was charged 2 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Hey Serena, who loves ya?
Mommy.
Who loves you the most? That much? Oh, I think I love you more than that.
17th February 2021, residents of a small neighborhood in Georgetown, Ontario, were woken up in the middle of the night by police sirens. One of the residents got out his phone and recorded. His neighbor's house was fully engulfed in flames. The fire had rapidly ignited, as by the time firefighters arrived at the scene, there was no hope of saving the house or anyone inside. Hours later, as the fire was put out, all that was left was the charred devastation and the remains of an old couple, 56-year-old Christina Rirak and 59-year-old Andrew Rirak. They were in their home garage. The cause of the fire was initially unknown, but that wasn't the major question. The real mystery sparked from an autopsy of the couple who didn't die in the fire. They were long dead before, probably stabbed multiple times to death. The fire wasn't started to kill them, however it was started to cover up for their murders. Luckily, the house right opposite the couples had a security camera, a camera that had recorded the initial explosion. The police hoped that on backtracing the footage they would find out everything. And indeed, they got what they wanted. At exactly 6:42 of the day before, the footage shows the couple's car pulling into the drive-thru and entering the garage. This footage was very disturbing as it was the last moment they were ever seen alive. However, the footage didn't stop there. What seemed like a tall figure can be seen entering the garage as if he or she had been waiting. The person has no visible facial features, so it's hard to make out his or her identity. It is unaware whether the couple noticed this person, but according to the footage, it can be seen that they didn't see him at the time. The garage door slowly closed and the couple would be brutally murdered that very same night by that man. From the footage itself, it's clear that this person knew what he was doing, as he was very familiar with the family's schedule, clearly timing when they would arrive home. The reason why and who remained unknown. This was odd as the couple didn't seem to have many enemies except one. Harrison Brown, a 27-year-old working under Christine Rirak at a company. During his time, Harrison wasn't in the best of terms with Christina, and being the only suspect, the police paid him a visit, and what they would find in his house was more than just a misunderstanding between him and Christina. As Harrison had a growing grudge towards Christina, he had planned everything, planting a tracking device on their car. This would explain how he wouldn't have known the exact time they would have arrived home. Aside that was a broken knife in his garage with Christina's DNA. Harrison was guilty and was immediately arrested and confessed to murdering the two that night. He later returned to start the fire in order to cover up for his crime. He was arrested on 2 counts of first-degree murder and arson and served the life sentence, where he stays to this day. On one evening in 2015, just right outside a local cantina, Patrick Feaster, a police officer, was keeping watch in his car. You see, the bar was known for sporting drunk drivers, and sure enough, Officer Feaster got what he was looking for, as his dashcam footage managed to record a couple entering a car and speeding off recklessly. The couple were Andrew Thomas and his ex-wife Doreen Arain, and they were indeed intoxicated, driving carelessly on the street. The police officer would follow them, however, making attempts to make them stop. They showed no signs of slowing down. This led to a police chase that wouldn't last long, as the car crashed terribly, forcefully ejecting Doreen through the windshield onto the asphalt, where she fell unconscious. Miraculously, Andrew survived, barely injured to say the least. He attempts to get out of the car, but this was the same time Officer Feaster confronted him. And shockingly, Feaster immediately drew his gun and shot him, something he wasn't supposed to do, as Andrew didn't pose a threat to anyone considering he was unarmed and both his hands were visibly occupied. The police officer quickly realizes his mistake and begins to panic. However, he didn't call for help and just seemingly started looking on the ground as if searching for something. The situation of the two was only worsening. By the time another officer arrived to the scene, Andrew was still alive and somehow mumbling, struggling to communicate with the other officer, saying that he had been shot. Now, keep in mind that Officer Feaster did not inform his fellow officer that he had shot the victim, and instead was doing his best to change the story. Help hadn't arrived yet, and the two's situation was only getting worse, as Andrew was now trapped inside the car with a gunshot wound to his neck that had paralyzed him down below, and Arain still on the asphalt, motionless. The footage then cuts out, opening to an ambulance and paramedics. Help had arrived, and this was the time when Officer Feaster confessed,
"I think I shot him. I'm not sure."
But the damage had already been done. Doreen had died presumably on the accident itself. Andrew did manage to survive for a few days, but would die to his fatal injury. Officer Feaster was revoked of his badge and charged with one count of first-degree murder, but only served 185 days in prison.